Hello, judges, and welcome to our CubeSat final demo. We are Hands-on Tech Silicon Valley. This is us. We're a group of high school students who are passionate about space systems and engineering, and we're excited to show you what we've done over this challenge. I'm Yuji.
I'm Gabe.
I'm Leo.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Emily.
Our mission objective is to support natural disaster response by detection of power outages after a disaster. We will do this using a 1U CubeSat which measures 10 centimeters on each side with a final mass less than 1 kilogram. It will be fully powered by solar panels during its mission, receive picture-taking location data from the ground station, capture images when it is over a specified location, and load historical information with the same location to detect power outages. And finally, it will report outages in a timely.
This diagram illustrates our concept of operations and displays clearly the full operation of our CubeSat. After designing and testing our model, we will launch and insert our CubeSat into the desired orbit. From here, after testing all subsystems and hopefully communicating with our CubeSat to make sure everything is going well, the CubeSat will enter the operational phase, which it will exchange information routinely with ground, sending potential blackout information in exchange for task planning orders. The ground station will then send blackout alerts to the user as deemed fit. We also have an error contingency mode and a decommissioning phase for when the mission is complete.
This is our CAD model, which shows how we've assembled our CubeSat, as well as two additional changes. We added 4 more solar panels for a total of 5 based on our power budget calculations, 4 of which are foldable so that it can fit into the 1U dimensions before launch and expand outwards after entering orbit. We've also added 2 reaction wheels along 2 axes to allow the CubeSat to orient itself to face the Earth while taking pictures.
This is our system level block design. It consists of various subsystems, including the power subsystem, command and data handling subsystem, ADCS, structure and imaging subsystems. They are connected to each other and communicate through various cables or through Bluetooth communication.
This is our software architecture, which is divided into the CubeSat module and the ground station module. The ground station module receives the CubeSat's orbit results to send an alert and sends task schedules to the CubeSat. The CubeSat contains the communication, ADCS, image taking, image processing, and outage detection modules, all of which are controlled by a CubeSat control system. After designing the architecture, we agreed on the interface details, tested submodules independently, and combined them all into the control loop to test a full cycle.
So here's our mass budget. So the two tables show all the components we are using for our CubeSat. So the left table shows all the frame-related components, and it shows the price, the amount of each component, and the mass of each component in the table. So in total for the frame-related components, we have $69.19, and we are going to use and the total mass is 196.03 grams. And for the electronic parts, the total price is $314.28 dollars, and the total mass is 480.6 grams. So this puts us under the maximum of 1 kilogram with a 25% margin. So here's our link budget. So this shows all the data for the linking between the ground station and the CubeSat. So all the data is shown on this slide. And here's our power consumption. Uh, so when the Pi is idle, like it's not taking pictures, it uses 21.438 kilojoules for per each orbit, which is 6.8% of the battery. And while it's running, it will use 26.838 kilojoules, which is 10% of the battery. And the battery is 180 kilojoules. So here's our power generation. So this is scaled off of the solar panel that was provided. So one of those solar panels would generate about 8 kilojoules per orbit, which is about 4.4% of the battery. So we would need 4 solar panels to make it work, but 5 would be better for redundancy.
The simulation environment we built was made to fit the perspective of the CubeSat when it takes pictures from space, and how the blackouts are simulated will be explained more in our demo video. This is our simulation environment. We covered the table with black paper and spread LEDs all over it, so when we turn the lights off, it will look like a bird's eye view of a nighttime city. Our CubeSat will point down from this adjustable platform to take pictures, and to change the location of the picture it takes, we can just move our table. To mimic a blackout, we can cover a portion of the LEDs with black tape and take a photo of this new arrangement without touching the CubeSat. This allows the CubeSat to store images of both the original environment and the altered environment.
So here's the place where the person can ask the CubeSat to look for a power outage. So you can enter the location for the CubeSat to take a picture and analyze whether there's a power outage. So I'm going to enter the latitude uh, and the longitude. So now the CubeSat will take take a picture and analyze whether there's a power outage here. If I press submit, and I can enter my email. So the CubeSat will send me a notification if there's a power outage here.
CubeSat through VNC, which we use to wirelessly debug the CubeSat. We've modified the CubeSat's rc.local files so that it begins operating on startup. The console shows the log of the CubeSat. Since the CubeSat communicates with the ground station and we can't physically move the CubeSat very far, we simulate the CubeSat passing over the ground station by turning on and off the Bluetooth connection. This is a CubeSat before it receives its first task. It is currently looking for a connection with the ground station. Now I will turn on Bluetooth to indicate that the CubeSat is passing over the ground station. Now the CubeSat fetches the assignment file for the next few orbits. In a few seconds, the CubeSat will fly over the planned location, and it will take a picture. That's a picture being taken. Now the CubeSat will pass over the ground station again. For this next orbit, we will cover up some lights to simulate a power outage, and then wait for it to take another picture. Let's go back to the CubeSat console. A picture has just been taken, and it has detected an outage. Now I will turn Bluetooth on for its return to the ground station. The CubeSat is connected to the ground station, and the CubeSat results were sent down to the ground station.
So here is the email the CubeSat will send you if it has detected a power outage. So as you can see, it has just sent me an email. So it has sent me the position, the probability, and the time the power outage it has detected occurred.
And that concludes our demonstration video for our CubeSats process.
So here are the results from the tests that were just shown in the demo video. So all the tests are listed here. And as you saw from the demo video, all the tests were successful.
Now let's take a look at what's actually going on inside the CubeSat. After the CubeSat takes a picture, given the latitude and longitude information, it must detect if there is a power outage. The outage detection includes first pre-processing the image by grayscaling, rotating, and standardizing it, and then splitting the image into sections. Then the data is saved and information is either pulled or added to the database depending on if previous photos have already been taken of the location. Here is an example of a power outage. The photo on the left is the normal city, and the photo on the right is the city with a power outage in the labeled top middle section of the photo. Both images simulate two passes over the same area. We split the images into sections. As you can see, a mask is put over the photo with a threshold of 120 pixel brightness. Those with a greater value are considered bright pixels in white on the right, and the rest are dark pixels. However, not every image is taken over the same place. To address this, the sections are predefined to be squares every full 3 kilometers with a corner at latitude, longitude value 0, 0. Therefore, the sections can be found over various photos.
Well, this is our database design. We allocated 10 gigabytes of storage to the database, so we will have a daemon that continuously monitors the size of the database every 2 days, and if it exceeds 10 gigabytes, a random 20% of the data will be deleted. Our database is structured as shown in the table. There's a box ID which is generated from its latitude and longitude, which is a string which contains the top left corner's latitude, space, the top left corner's longitude. It has a field named bright pixels, which is a float, which is a number of bright pixels in the image, dark pixels, which contains the number of dark pixels in the image, and date, which is formatted in ISO format.
So how is this historical data used? If there has not been a previous pass over the area, the information is saved to the database. If there has been a previous pass over the area and the section information can be found in the database, now we can compare them to check if there is an outage. If there isn't, the database is updated with the new section, but if there is, the outage information is sent in a JSON file format to the ground station. To detect if there is an outage in a section, we compare the new section proportion of bright pixels to the historical data's section proportion of bright pixels. If the difference is greater than a threshold value, then we can see that there has been an outage. As you can see, the photo on the left has detected the boxes in which there has been an outage as compared to the photo on the right, where all the lights are on. In scaling to a real flight spacecraft, there will have to be changes made to the CubeSat's design. To control the temperature, we would implement conduction cooling for the Raspberry Pi board or replace it with a previously tested board such as the Raspberry Pi Zero. To control power, a fuse would be incredibly useful to cut the power to the Raspberry Pi quickly in the case of single event functional interrupts. An emergency system should be set to prevent garbage communication. The spacecraft will also be mounted with a metal or other electrostatic discharge dissipative connection to the spacecraft instead of acrylic sheets. Radiation should not be a large issue within our orbit. However, if the Raspberry Pi it should be able to be disconnected quickly for total ionizing doses. An IMU triggered image taking system would be very helpful and implemented within the usage of the reaction wheels, and the camera will be swapped to a more professional one with zoom function and focusing lens. The algorithm's threshold values will be tuned, and as each image is taken from further away, the size of the sections on the image will change to remain 3 kilometers by 3 kilometers.
We chose a low Earth orbit because it would have the most protection against solar radiation and a higher image resolution for capturing individual cities. A high inclination allows us to cover more areas of Earth, as north as Canada and Russia, and as south as Southern Africa, which according to this heat map are frequently affected by power outages. With these in mind, we chose a low Earth orbit at 500 kilometers with 60-degree inclination, which is shown in the blue line on the SDK display. It has a 1.57-hour orbital period, and it will be in range of the ground station for 15 minutes, shown in red on the diagram, which is enough time to transmit data.
There are many lessons and improvements learned from the process of designing this CubeSat. For the simulation environment, we realized the difficulty of accurately replicating light density and faced trouble with moving locations. While designing image processing, we faced challenges transcribing the process made for the real mission onto the simulation environment. Our model only focuses on one feature to detect outages, which is brightness, and the threshold of the simulated images may not be accurate enough and could be developed further. To better integrate interfaces, we could have cleaned up individual parts and communicated within the team more fluently. And that concludes our CubeSat final video. Thank you for listening.